Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another episode of the Mix Behind the Mic podcast here at Studio 33. Special guest today, finally somebody from Northeast Philly, native like myself. 5 years in the business, Locke Events owner, boutique wedding and design. My insider Gen Z friend, Amanda Effin Dean. Welcome.
Hello. Thank
So
you.
happy to come. Again, I already said again, Keith. I love it. He always yells at me that I say again a lot. I love that you're here. I'm so excited that I've been getting the opportunities to have people come on the pod that I work with a lot,
Yeah.
talk to a lot, but never physically met in person. So let's go. Welcome.
Thank you.
I always want to talk. How'd you get in the business? How'd you start? People want to know, why are they listening to your advice, and if they didn't know a little bit about you. So start us off. How'd you get in the business? Why, etc. And what's up?
Happy to. Yeah, like you mentioned, I own Locke Events. We're a boutique wedding and design company based in Philly, but we do things everywhere. I have a wedding in April. It's going to be in Florida. I just booked a Michigan wedding. We're going to Newport in the summer. So we're kind of all over the place.
Where in Florida?
Like Cocoa Beach area. Yeah. So we do everything all up and down the East Coast. We say we're East Coast based. It's because I've lived everywhere and I have connections in a lot of different cities, but I was a healthcare girl. A lot of wedding vendors have a similar story. I was in grad school for a doctorate in occupational therapy, which I did end up getting for my parents.
Okay.
But I just was a creative. I've been a creative like for my entire life. The other day, my mom found one of my notebooks from like high school, and it was literally all these little notes for my Sweet 16 party and like the design and the drinks and the food. And she sent this to me. She's like, "This was 10 years ago." And like, here you are now. And I was like,
right?
yeah, I should have just saved myself on the tuition money. But yeah, it's been a journey. It's the last 5 years in working in events and then building something that's my own is I just never could have imagined that this would be where I am. But I'm a type A, type B. Like I like every day to look different, but I'm an organized control freak. So
That's
events
dangerous.
are perfect.
That sounds dangerous. Right?
Yeah, events are perfect for me.
I think I'm gonna out myself real quick.
Okay.
It's embarrassing, but I'm gonna do it.
Please do.
I don't think pre-podcast I knew what type A, type B was. Swear to God. I swear to God. And it's so funny that it comes up often on the pod about what type of person are you.
Yeah.
I am clearly type B, and if I didn't tell you, 4 of the last 5 podcasts I have mentioned that I am type B.
Yes.
If you know me well enough working together, you might have already known that.
Yep.
Combination A and B, I guess I can see that. But
well, as a planner, you have to be. You got to work in the chaos. You got to thrive in the chaos. But like I'm my own shit. I got my shit together. I just have to be able to like deal with the insanity of other vendors and like just a typical like wedding planning day. So yeah, the type A, type B. It makes sense for me.
I mean, it makes sense to me. Why Locke? Let's start there.
Oh, I've never told you this story, have I? You don't know it.
Again, this is why I said let's chop it up and come talk.
Wow, great question. So I spent a lot of time on like branding, designing this company, like building it. I was a sole proprietor for a long time. I just kind of operated independently as a planner for friends and family and acquaintances. And then like end of 24, it got to a point where I was like, I think I need to make this legitimate for like tax purposes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I started really
Shout out the IRS, not listening here. It's just kidding.
So I literally could not come up with a name for the longest time. I'm someone who like I didn't want to niche too hard into weddings. I wanted it to feel, you know, a little bit open, yeah. But I also I needed it to feel like me. And I'm just not a fan of my like full name, so it was never going to be Amanda Kathleen Events. That's
okay.
So sorry, Mom. That's her name. Anyway, it wasn't for me. But I started thinking about what mattered to me in my life and all the things that make me who I am. And my grandparents are those people. They have been married for like 60 years in May. And they are really my whole philosophy on weddings and events. It boils down to like them and their marriage. They are the classic Irish Catholic matriarch, patriarch of our family.
Northeast Philly shout out again.
There's another Northeast shout out. But yeah, I mean, it's the idea that like weddings and events aren't just one day. It's not a drop in the bucket. It's like it can be a catalyst for the next 60 years of life. And so Locke is my grandmom's maiden name. She doesn't have any surviving brothers, like, the name was gonna die with her. And so it was something that felt really special to me. She's, like, my favorite human in the world. And so Locke Events was born, and it's been a crazy, crazy journey. I am grateful to, like, them for supporting me and my family for supporting me, but that's the name origin, the birth story of Locke Events.
It's, how do I put this? It's so simple, but it's great.
Mhm.
It's it.
It's perfect.
Like, I love the backstory. I love that there is meaning to it. Uh, and I feel as though so many people create a brand that is their name
Yeah.
or that has absolutely nothing to do with anything other than it sounds cool or the niche
Yeah.
market that you're
Yes.
mentioning.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Which I love those, like the Something Blue events and, like, all of that stuff, and I just always wanted it to feel like it could stand on its own 2 feet without me, right?
listen,
Like, it didn't need to be attached to like, you're not Harry
no,
and,
listen.
like, event group.
I but let's take it a step further. I'm an only child.
Mhm.
If my dad doesn't have a boy, the name ends.
Yeah.
If I don't have a boy, the name ends.
Mhm.
And my dad had only one kid, and I had only one kid, so the McCluskey name is going strong. But you saying your grandmom is cool in itself. You saying that she's the name and it ends there, and now even everything I said off the air, I want this to blow up even more because I want this name to have meaning behind it, and that's just super
Mhm.
cool. So
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
Kudos.
Yeah.
Um, what does she think?
They love it. Like, they when they I mean, my website, like, my redesign was finished right before Thanksgiving, so being able to, like, sit them down after Thanksgiving and, like, my grandpa's got his pumpkin pie, my grandmom's got her coffee, and I'm like, "I'm gonna show you guys something," and they were just so excited. Like, they thought it was the coolest thing. Um,
It's
it's really
how
special.
old are they? 80?
80,
Yeah,
85.
it's.
Yeah, 85. And so they're gonna get the biggest 60th anniversary party from their event planning granddaughter in May.
I hope you realize how special it is to still have your
It is.
grandparents.
I know.
So I
I have all 4.
I don't have any.
Yeah.
I still have my parents. I'm 40, 41. And so many people tell me all the time how lucky I am that I have both my parents. So having all 4 grandparents is
Yeah.
massive. That is awesome. I'm like cheesing on the inside of just your story about your grandparents. It's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Before we dive anything else, and I like to give people their plugs of the business.
Mhm.
Full service. You're traveling near and far, if you will. Uh, would you say that you have any like not specialties, but like,
We're a niche a little bit.
yes,
Mhm.
perfect. That was the way I was
Yeah.
trying to ask it.
Yeah. I've actually spent the last couple years working in, like, experiential marketing and brand activation. So, if anyone doesn't know what that means, it's a lot of marketing speak. But in the events world, like, I do a lot of music festival stuff and work in, like, the sports and entertainment world. So, I take a lot of that knowledge around design and user journey and creating a cohesive experience and wanting someone to feel something so they, like, take an action, right? Like, that's all the marketing stuff. And I kind of plug it into the weddings in a lot of ways. Like, to me, design is not just, like, really pretty paper and a really gorgeous floral, like, installation.
Sure.
It's an experience. It's meant to be immersive. It's meant to be engaging. There's meant to be hands-on elements. And so that's where I really try and lean in with my couples is finding opportunities to take their story, like, learn a little bit about them as humans and where they come from and their backgrounds and what they're into and infuse it through that design in experiential ways and like a little bit like nods to things versus like blatant, um description. But yeah, I would say that's probably where I really like to get like really specific with clients.
That was your type A answer. All I keep thinking about, everything you just said, there's only one thing I really heard, if I'm being
Oh,
honest.
sure. What is it?
All I heard was shout out to your commitment to the business, because all I heard was I didn't go to the Super Bowl last week due to a client conflict. Okay, so can we touch base on that real quick?
Yeah, I just have I lots of fun things come across my desk.
Opportunities,
Yes.
if you will.
Um, but yeah, I love doing both. I love that marketing and experiential side and being able to build a lot of that like consumer journey. I love the way people think and like how they're going to react to things. And
Like your grandma.
it yeah, there you go. But it applies to weddings too. Like I like like people. I'm a huge people person. Obviously, I'm yapping, but
So
I'm
I
just
said,
a
come on.
I'm just a I'm just a lover of like human interaction and like being around people and obviously that's why I love events. That's why I do events. I think it's like a special thing. It brings people together.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. So trends. Hit me with them.
Trends.
2026. What do we love? What do we hate?
My love list is long, but so is my hate list, which I know you're trying to not use that word as much, so I'm gonna try not to.
She listens to the pod,
Of
Keith.
course
She
I
knows.
listen. Love a DJ Fusion, which we just talked about earlier. I think it's perfect for couples who want that like DJ party, especially if they want those like EDM, they want that vibe, but they're also down for a little bit of live music and they don't want to go full blown with like a trio or anything for cocktail. So loving a DJ Fusion. I'm also loving like the mismatched bridesmaids dress trend, which is huge. I'm a lover of asymmetry, if you will. I do not like when everything looks the same. I don't like matchy matchy, so I'm big on that right now. Um, I also love no wedding parties, which I know is controversial. I'm firmly against a
Again,
huge
this
wedding
is what.
party.
Okay. Well,
I know that's my
let's pause.
controversial.
Let's pause. Let's go back because this could be a hot take. You're against bridal parties or you're against big bridal parties? Because they're
I
two
think
massive statements.
I think big bridal parties.
Okay.
And I know that everyone defines that differently. Some people say more than 6 gets big. My thinking is right, especially I think it's the obligation. Like overall, this is how I feel about weddings in general, and I tell all my clients this. You should never ever feel obligated to do anything on your wedding day. You should not feel obligated to invite someone. You should never feel obligated to make someone a part of your wedding party. You should never feel obligated to have a specific part to your ceremony because that's what your family wants. It is your day. And I think a lot of times we get really caught up on that obligation around wedding parties. I just see it all the time. And it's a girl thing, right? Like it's, oh, if I have this cousin, I have to have this cousin. If I have this friend from college, then I have to invite this friend from college. And I just do what you want. Like do what you want. That's my hot take. Do what you want.
I hate essentially repeating myself a lot, especially I hope everybody watches 29 episodes. But there's so many things that I just try to reiterate because I think they're so important. And it's the whole purpose of the pod.
Yeah.
You just said two things that one recording earlier today that we brought up was colors and switching things up for bridal. So yes, like for the bridesmaid's dress. But I had a future bride that came on who booked with us and she just came on to talk about her experience. And that's something that she was like so adamant about, which was just because you were invited to their wedding 10 years ago doesn't mean that you have to invite them, or just because you were a
My dream
bridesmaid
client.
in their
Yes.
wedding doesn't mean that they have to be a bridesmaid in your wedding. And I go back and forth with a lot of that stuff because I'm 20 years in this business, but like that's some of the noise that I never pay attention to of like who has to be invited and stuff. And like my favorite part of, and I'm going to use Gen Z a lot in this episode,
For it,
but like I think there's something massive about no F's given.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
this
I
day
was
and
literally gonna
age.
say Gen Z just doesn't give an F. They
Yes,
just don't care.
that's what
Like,
it is.
and you know what? Good for them. Good for us. What am I saying?
Yes. Oh
Literally.
yeah. I'm so about it. And especially for like my newer guys, younger DJs, I'm like, you have no idea how good you have it because there's a reason I hate Sweet Caroline and Don't Stop Believing is because when I was 25 and them songs were already 25 years old, I had to play them at every event. Like, why?
Yep.
But like, because people are doing things their way and how they want, weddings are so much more fun than they were.
And so different, right? Like,
and they're all different.
so
They're
different.
original.
Yeah, so different. And whether that's like texture, color, like that black and white is always going to be your classic, but I definitely attract with I
Specific.
I definitely attract a specific type of client, and it tends to be people who are willing to go a little bit outside the box cuz I am always outside the box.
That's
Like
why I want to book every one of your clients.
they're the best. They're all the best. But like you're so right. Like I everyone has their tastes. Yes, classic is great, but if you're not a classic person and you're doing it just because you want it to, withstand the test of time and you want it to last 20 years, that's not a great reason to do it. Do you?
I can't agree more. I'm now asking this question every single podcast, and we did a couple today.
Okay.
My new favorite thing to ask people is, you just said, do you? Some people might do the black and white, and that will always be timeless and
Yes.
high-end or elegant,
And I
however
love
you
it.
want to put
I
it.
love it.
I'm for it too. But again, I'm all for the color. But how many people are spending money, maybe unnecessary money, or things to appease other people? Or the question is, how many people are doing it for the gram?
Yeah.
And that's what
I
blows
know.
my mind.
It's true. It's definitely a thing.
The question is going to be to everybody, how
Yeah.
many people are doing it for the gram, or why are they doing it so much for the gram? Do you think it's too much? Do you think, and this is where, again, I say the Gen Z word line, I should say, because I'm 41
Yeah.
and I love video. And again, this is a hot take, and Keith, don't make this a clip, but like, when I have consults and I talk photo and video with people, I make people's head spins. And I don't know if I've ever said this out loud on the pod, but like, I sometimes think, me personally, I think videography is almost more important than photography in 2026 because of Gen Z and the way the world is going. The picture on the mantle is awesome. 20 years for the kids. I want to relive that shit. And I think it's, we'll say, just as important, if not. But I think that this new age of weddings, everyone wants to one up the next.
Yeah.
Everyone wants,
Yeah.
this is why content creators are a thing now too.
Yep.
Like, I don't even know how we didn't bring that up yet, but like, everyone wants to show it off, show what they did. And I'm curious how many people are doing things for them
Yeah.
versus doing things
For
to show it off.
Yeah.
Aesthetics.
Totally.
Exactly.
I totally agree with you. I feel like it has become it's almost like an epidemic in the wedding world of like how and I would say it's also on the vendor side too a little bit. I don't even mean styled shoots. I just mean like doing something because you know it's going to go viral. And I don't say that in a bad way. It's great to go viral. It's great for couples and it's awesome for vendors. But um if it's not you, then like what's the point? It's literally a part of your entire wedding. You get one wedding day. And if you're going to spend the entire planning time, I always say planning is a journey, not just a destination. Like the wedding is not just the day. Like you want to enjoy the time too. If you're just caught up with whatever's going to be the most eye-catching, interesting, like almost I don't know, vulgar for lack of a better term, just to get people like thinking, it's just not like it's not worth it if it's not you. I actually feel like most of my clients aren't that way. And I don't know if it's just I attract the right clients. Like I definitely my clients tend to be on the younger side cuz I'm on the younger side. I would say the average age is like my age, like around 27, 20, 28 maybe. Um and they don't tend to be super focused on that, but I have had clients in the past whose entire day revolved around getting the right shot, getting the TikTok, getting the edit,
I hate
and
it.
if that's what's priority to you,
I hate it.
okay. But I say this as a girl, I should also caveat a girl that loves social media. Like you've seen my Instagram, I post stuff all the time. I make my own little videos like but I don't think it should take up. It should not be your priority. It should never be the priority. The priority should be the two of you and your story.
What blows my mind is the entertainer in me, the DJ in me, the event group owner that high energy dance floors is what sells. Take all of that into play and let me flip it and be, I called another guy Mr. Romantic. Shout out to Raf Rodriguez that was here. But the just the two of you, the reason of what the day is, the romantic, emotional, all of that stuff has to be a priority over the TikToks and the views.
Yeah.
And like,
Oh yeah.
and like,
Always.
if you're doing like, so
But that's the TikToks are fine. Guys,
100%.
I make the TikToks for my brides. I would be
Right,
the
right,
first one. If
right.
like if a
Sure,
girl
sure.
wants to do the fun little ring transition while she's like getting ready, I will record it for you.
But
But
it
let's not make
can't
it the
be a
whole morning.
priority,
Mhm.
and it can't ruin your, like, there's going to be hookups,
Yeah.
there's going to be things that happen,
Always.
and we can't be getting flustered because we didn't get that shot
Mhm.
or we didn't get that right take for the video TikTok.
Yeah.
And that's something that I see as flustering for, especially for vendors, because listen, the bride is the boss and
Yep.
you're not going to bitch or complain,
Totally.
but like, we're also now, you're now in a shit mood because of, some little quirky thing. So it's just, stuff I always like to kind of talk about to keep the eye on the prize of,
Yeah.
what's important
Yeah.
for the day.
Totally. One thing that I'm, like, really loving for I would say it's not brand new, but I'm seeing it a lot more, is this idea of, like, the wedding bubble. Have you heard this term before? Or,
Keep
like,
going.
staycation, wedding bubble. Um, a lot of my couples are prioritizing wedding weekends over the day alone, and I say that, to say that people they wanna stretch out their celebration, and I
I love this.
I love
Keep
it,
going.
I love it. So I have a lot of couples who are doing this in especially 2027. Like, I'm seeing a lot of my 2027, like, full service and partial
What do
planning
you call
clients
this?
wanting to
What
do
is this?
the wedding bubble.
Wedding bubble guy.
Yeah, trademark that, that's
Okay.
mine. The wedding bubble.
You made this up?
I don't know, I haven't
Oh.
really heard the term. I kind of
You asked me
chatted
if I heard the term,
I've
and I
I
was like,
I've
oh,
chatted through the term with clients, but I don't know that it's, like, widely
I felt uncomfortable that I'm 20 years in the business doing this, and I don't know. And
I
I'm
call
like,
it the wedding
you made it
bubble.
up
It's also
5
like
minutes
the
ago.
staycation, like, but the
Okay.
wedding bubble. So, the idea that you have that welcome party. I know you're controversial on rehearsal dinners. I've heard that from you too. But, like,
I think they're so dumb.
I think they're insanely important
Okay,
personally.
let's pause. Honestly, we can write this down, so let's go back to this. You're blowing my mind because I just talked about this on a pod. I'm so in for this. If you listen to the pod, I push first looks so much.
Yeah,
I push first looks so much for one reason, which is getting your hellos and thank yous out of the way.
I get that.
And I just talked about what's so amazing about a destination wedding is that it's a
That's
weekend.
a wedding bubble.
This is where I'm going.
Mhm.
But the whole it just takes me to one thing and one thing only. You can give me your spiel for the rehearsal, but if everyone is making this a weekend and there's something happening Friday, now I think there's lots of bad ideas here that falter into people in their 20s and 30s getting shit-faced Friday night in the wedding Saturday.
Oh,
So that's
I
a
hear
thing in
you.
itself.
Yep.
But I think there's so much about the aunts, the uncles, the
Yes.
distant
Oh, yeah.
relatives that you get all that shit out of the way on Friday night that you
Yep.
don't have to do it at the wedding.
And that's what I tell every couple who's, like, on the fence with whether or not to do a rehearsal or a welcome party or welcome drinks, like, do it. If it's a question, do it. You will save yourself so much time on your wedding day. To your point, you're getting all those hellos and thank yous out of the way. You're also getting all the nerves out. Like, the worry a lot of people are nervous about being in, like, a room full of
All right.
200 people.
Now let me play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Are you not getting the sex now? Are you not spending the extra $5K on flowers because now you
Yeah,
have a welcome party the
fair.
night before?
That's
So
fair.
it's way more money.
Right, but there's trade-offs and, like, I talk trade-offs is my term with every client.
Listen,
There's trade-offs everywhere, right?
sure.
And that's just how it works. But I do think that there are vendors and there are things in weddings that you should do for your mental sanity, regardless of cost. And you're not blowing your budget out of the water with
Sure,
welcome
sure.
drinks. But at the same time, yes, it's like a huge consideration. I think it's valuable. I think it's worth it every time.
This was also part of my brain is just going a mile a minute today. I immediately lean on venues with a hotel.
Oh yeah,
Like that's
huge.
top of the list now.
I mean,
Like,
has to be, but the challenge, especially in Philly, is like some of these venues that are like stunning star-stunning venues don't have that accommodation, but I 100% agree. Like, that's the goal, the wedding bubble, for that to exist. People are coming in for 2, 3, 4 days even. So yeah, you need to be hopefully centralized for, like, guest experience. That's always huge for me, and just ease and planning in general. But it's not always the case. Hence one that I'm working on next year. We just don't have that availability on site. So,
wedding bubble.
wedding bubble. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be so fun. They're doing this is our, like, I'll give you our little itinerary. They're a Friday wedding. So they have their rehearsal on Thursday, and they're gonna do so excited for this rehearsal. They're both really Italian. So they're doing, like, a full we got cannoli man, we have gelato cart, we're gonna do, like, pasta and the cheese wheel situation, and then they're gonna do, welcome drinks upstairs after rehearsal. You'll also love that they're doing their speeches during rehearsal, so we're gonna save some time.
Okay. I'm immediately now in. Now you got me in for the rehearsal only for that.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a lot. Listen, it all goes back to you're literally talking about another world. You're literally like everything you just told me about this wedding. If we hop in a time machine and go to 2020, not even like when I started Old Man Harry, like 5 years ago, everything you just said is like sounds 50 years away than it is right here, right now. And
It's the cusp. I'm telling you. Like, we're on the cusp. I have 2 clients that are doing this next year.
but this is also why I love the podcast because
And you love
it's
wedding planners because we have this inside info.
facts. But I just, if this is the new trend, and I pray it is, I think it changes the game for so many things.
Totally.
It goes back to me not wanting to do dinner ever again and just
Which I
do
support,
big.
by the way.
I'm
I
all for
fully
this.
support.
But this takes it even further. Adding this, we mentioned it before about doing like speeches at at the rehearsal or the night before kind of thing, and like don't think I've ever seen it happen, but we've talked about it. But it's also like, again, I want to give you a rebuttal for everything you're saying.
Go
Which
for it. I like to debate.
right, same.
Let's go.
But like 150 people at a wedding. How many people is this wedding? By the way,
200,
okay,
215.
cool. 200. We're saying 200 people. One guy, the groom gets married, and his brother's the best man, and there's 200 people, and he gives a killer speech at that 200 wedding. Now it's his turn, and he's the best man. Do we care? And again, we go back to
I know.
we go back to we don't care.
Obligations.
We
Yeah,
go back to we don't care.
Yeah.
Is it like a downer, or is it a less thing that the
He
best
doesn't have
man
to-
brother
yes.
gets to do it in front of 20 people at the rehearsal versus 200? And
Yeah.
again, do people not give a shit? I'm just thinking of,
I'm sure people give a shit. If I'm being
Yes.
honest, they
Yeah.
do. Should never feel obligated.
again, I agree. I'm just thinking
Definitely. But that's going to be everything in every wedding.
everyone's.
I'm sure there's parents who are like, you need a band. And the couple's like, we're getting a DJ. And like, again, don't be obligated.
I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But you set me up for that. That's not fair. My favorite thing to ask people: expectations versus reality. Is there anything that comes to mind for you? What is very commonly you see, and as I say on every pod, TikTok,
Yeah.
Pinterest, all these things, everyone thinks they have this great idea, but in reality, it sucks.
Yeah.
Anything that sticks out to tell our
I have a good one. It's been a trend lately. I'm sure you've seen it a little bit. The late night like outfit change. No. Late night outfit change like bar shots. So I've done this with a couple clients. I actually did it with the wedding Corey and I did together in October. That was one of the only times I've ever seen it do well.
He commented on my Facebook
I
post
saw it.
today, and I was like, I guess they did a wedding.
Love him, and I gave him my heart hands back. I said, my guy.
I'll see.
So it's the idea like, bride does an outfit change. So she's in like a cute little short, fun white dress.
Sure.
The photographer will steal them and they'll do like really cool hard flash shots at like a bar or somewhere a little bit more moody, right? Like it's that like sexy, sultry, really dark
Okay.
vibe. You're pulling them off the dance floor.
And then that's what I was.
Everyone's a little tipsy, a little too tipsy if you ask me. I've had brides hopping up on bar, like on the actual bar, sitting on the bar. And these pictures, they're hot, they're sexy, they're always great. They look phenomenal. But if you're a little too drunk, you're not really gonna love them. You're gonna have wasted all your time to like leave your dance floor. You're already getting dressed, which I fully support a second look, by the way. This is not me just saying a second look. It's just me reminding couples to think about what mental state they're going to be in at 9:45 p.m. when they have an hour left in their reception. They've had 9 each of their signature drinks. Maybe let's not hop up on a 6-foot high bar and like pray that we can get a good shot.
So let's go here. You just pivoted perfectly for me.
Oh yeah,
I love talking about getting banged up at weddings.
we all do.
But my question is, especially as a planner, this is even more important to you. Where do you guide? Do you get in maid of honors a year? Do you ask this question to brides in your pre-planning or
How drunk do you want to get at your wedding?
like expectations again? Expectations. Like
Yeah.
I don't actually think I don't ever ask that
Yeah.
question, but like
Yeah.
I think for you, I think it's imperative actually.
I have seen it all,
I
my friends.
bet,
I have
bet.
seen it all. I had a bride throw up on my feet. I have, force-fed liquid IV mid dance floor. I've also had brides who like have gotten really drunk and had the best night of their lives, and like I did nothing but hand bottles of water out at the end of the night. Luckily, I am a person that gets really close with my clients. Like I am a girl, we will have drinks during our meetings. We will like go out with I've done workout classes with my clients. Like I know them pretty well by the time that we're like,
Which
you
I
know,
love.
at wedding day. But yeah, I've definitely had to whisper in like maid of honor's ear, sister's ear, and been like, are we good? Do I need to like but the other
Intervene.
thing I'm very proactive. Like I make sure I have multiple assistants with me on wedding days. One of them is always venues provide bridal attendants. I always like to make one of my assistants like a bridal attendant in addition. And I just make sure that there's always water on that sweetheart table. We never ever want to see an empty water glass at the bride's seat.
Fair.
And grooms too. Grooms get wild.
Sure.
But yeah, it's definitely happened. But like try to just, be proactive but let them have fun. Like they want to have fun.
I think me and Keith talked about this on our last pod about like obviously getting hammered and you're spending all this money and like you don't want to be throwing up or bra or sweet.
Totally.
But like I've been talking about weed more because it's way more popular and it kills dance floors either and like all these things of like getting banged up, like I'm all for it, but like in moderation at the right time and not taking people away from the vibes on the dance floors.
Well, luckily I'm a retired sorority president, so I've had to do a lot of that during my college years of taking care of, girls who've had a few too many.
Fair.
So I see the signs and I just jump in as I would senior year college Amanda would.
What is the most unique thing you saw at a wedding?
Oh. I have a couple. One of them, actually, this is a really cute story. One of my couples that got married this past year, Eastern Shore, Maryland, so stunning, Chesapeake Bay, gorgeous. They both loved baseball. She used to shoot, she's a photographer. She used to shoot for the Nationals, DC. He was a huge Orioles fan, and his dad collected vintage baseball cards. So they used his dad's vintage baseball cards as their guest book, and they've since made like a display out of it for their I love anything you can turn into a display as your guest book. That was so precious because there was so much like, and the thing is, you don't have to like blast that everywhere. Like they know what it means to them. They know like that this is like their special sport. This is what Sophie did for work. Like this was Andrew's dad's collection, and it was a really cool and like really special piece of their day. I loved that. That was one of my like favorite little guest book things. The other, oh my gosh, have you ever? I did a wedding at Hotel du Village last year, and they have this like French chateau vibe as part of it. Like that's their aesthetic.
Right.
They do like dance floor crepes. Like they have a live crepe bar going. They have 2 rooms. They have a reception, like seated dinner space, and then they move everybody. You'd love it. They move everybody out of there, and everyone goes into their like ballroom dancing room. And they have literally like on the dance floor because it's a tight room. The guys like making live crepes, and people are just like tossing them out during. It was so cool. It was like the next step up from like a cannoli man. I was obsessed with it. I had like 6. They were delish, but
I love it.
so fun. Yeah, because you're not, I mean, we talk so much about like the Viennese like sweet rooms and like dessert, you know what I mean, bars and all that, and they're great, but you are literally, everyone's gone. Like you've got grandma's over there with a coffee, and like somebody's looking for wedding cake, and it's
I love the
using your
bringing
dance
food
floor.
to the dance floor.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
I want Butler past McDonald's. Like that's what I'm waiting for. Is a venue that let me do that.
Yo, shout out to DJ Gorms because you know what I'm talking about on this one. But I have to tell you this story. Someone we're doing a wedding, and someone got like Uber Eats delivered for the kids, and we're like about to cut the cake, and all of a sudden this guy walks in. And I was like, all right, let's cut this cake. Someone didn't grab me a quarter pounder, let's go, or something along them lines. And he's like dying up there, and I'm just like, we just got delivery. It wasn't us, but someone got Uber Eats delivered.
You know what I love?
McDonald's to the wedding.
You ever seen this is actually another like trend that I'm seeing a lot more, and I'm gonna do a couple times next year, is the personalized like food, like the wrappers or the boxes. So like for your late night food, doing like fun little like, okay, yours would be perfect. Oh my gosh, Harry, let's do this for your wedding.
Okay.
We're gonna get late night McDonald's, and it's gonna say McCluskey.
It's not gonna be McDonald's, but
Okay, fine, whatever it is,
yeah.
but we'll make it look like the McDonald's logo.
Okay.
It'll be precious and adorable, and it's so fun. You get to like brand it. This is what I'm talking about with design.
Is
Like
this,
it gets
is,
branded and
is
cool,
this
and
like,
it's so fun.
is this like a Hershey bar, but it's like a personal?
No, it's
No,
not
no,
like that.
but like when you're
Come
saying personal,
on,
you
give me
just
more
said
credit than
McDonald's. You said
that.
McDonald's
I'll
with
send you some
personalized. All right,
Instagrams.
yeah,
It's
I
so
need
fun.
I need visuals. I need to see.
Who's planning your wedding, by the way? Me.
Okay, cool. I don't have one, sir. We can go there.
I'm shocked. You're gonna do it on your own?
No. To be honest, we've been engaged 5 years.
I know.
I've been like not putting it off. We had a kid,
I know.
bought a
Did a lot of
house.
things.
We've been like talking about multiple different aspects of things. I always say this too. I just feel like I'm gonna go so crazy over the top that like I there's no way I want to do anything small. So
Okay.
let's start there. And when I do go out, I just think I'm gonna go over the top that I've been maybe delaying on that aspect. But the more I think about it, the more I think we're just going destination wedding when we pull the trigger at this point.
Yeah, you love a destination wedding.
I've done 3 this past
I
year,
know,
and
I
I
know.
love every aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie. Your new hashtag wedding bubble,
Wedding bubble.
wedding bubble.
Mhm.
I tried to hashtag wedding Irish exit, and we stopped talking about it. We should start talking about it more. But I think one thing that I was so powerful of the destination
Mhm.
was the Friday welcome party,
Having
hello
everybody
and
there.
thank yous, toasts,
Yes. Yeah.
like
It's I mean, once again, it's experiential. Like it's so much more than just a day. It makes it more of a moment. People are spending so much. I mean, like, yes, wedding bubble will cost you more, but also make a moment out of it.
let's like take it a step further. I just complained, excuse me, I gave you the rebuttal for the best man,
Mhm.
right? But I'm cool with the best man talks for 10 minutes now.
Sure.
At the
Right?
wedding, I'd be
There you
like, shut the
go.
hell up
There you
already.
go. There you go.
So, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he has the mic, he has the, we're
Yes.
not, like,
And
what else?
that's why my couple that's doing those speeches and rehearsals is doing it. They want to prioritize speeches. They just don't want to take away from their dance floor.
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm so here for
Yeah.
it. I feel like I could, like, I want to, like, sit on this and, like, dive in. Like, me and Keith are going to do another pod before we, like, move to the PA location. And I was like, well, do we have any topics ready to go? And I'm like, no, this is going to be the first one.
There you
And
go.
I'm like, how do we dive in more of just what that weekend
Means.
bubble? I'll make sure we
Yeah.
shout you out
Wedding
when we say
bubble.
wedding
Yeah.
bubble.
Yeah.
Um, what are you telling couples to avoid when booking vendors? And I think
Oh.
that's super important to talk about.
Yeah. Um,
Besides just telling them to call us, but
I do that a lot. Anytime okay, so it definitely depends when I come in as a planner, right? So a lot of my couples hire me before they pick a venue, and a lot of my couples they've already locked in their venue. Some even have locked in their photographer, and now they're bringing on a planner. Um, the biggest thing I tell people when I can is you're probably overspending on your venue, which again, controversial statement potentially. You should not be going over like 55-60% of
of
your
your
budget
total budget.
on your venue, and I see quite insane numbers, and that is nothing against venues. It's just the realist like, it's where we are in the industry right now, and everything has gone up, right? But wedding budgets have largely remained the same for the last couple years, and so
And we're
I
definitely not like in a recession or anything.
totally.
You know what I mean?
And so I see a lot of couples, and eh, I just see a lot of couples who, right, they bring me on right after they have locked in their venue and they say, here's our budget for the rest of our vendors. And I'm like, let's just have, once again, we will make it work. that is the first thing I will tell a couple is we will make this work. I have great vendor relationships. I have great ideas. Like we will be really intentional about where we spend your money. I always ask the question, like, this is my question I ask most couples, like, in my consults is, when you wake up the day after your wedding or even like 2 weeks after your wedding and everyone's talking about it, like, what do you want it to be? What do you want them to be saying? What is the thing that you want everyone to be like taking away from the night? And I always say, like, is it the food? Is it, the decor? Is it the party? Everyone says the party. But like that's the question I ask, and that's how I prioritize and, use budgeting and resources and things like that. But so many times we've overspent on the venue and we are very limited in what else we can do. So I always just very, very, very highly encourage a really structured sit down before you guys walk into a venue tour or anything related to venue sourcing, understanding where your money is going to go.
I feel like this is a no-brainer question, but I'm still going to ask it. I assume you, with that being said, you'd always prefer them to book you before they book the
Always,
venue.
always. I tell couples all the time, especially if they inquire and they're like, "Well, we might book our venue first." I'm like, "Okay, if you guys are totally understand, take your time. I never do crazy follow ups. I never push. You decide. I want you to want me. I don't want to be like forcing this. It's not, once again, I'm not chasing. I don't want to be, it's like dating. I'm not going to chase a man. Like, you guys, we will fit if we fit, and you might find someone else you love more. But if you are going to book me and you're just waiting because you want to lock in your date first, don't do that. Book me, use my knowledge, use my resources. Like, let's work your contract down. I can't even tell you how many times I've negotiated like price per person's down for, guaranteeing a certain minimum, or like gotten something knocked off because we're agreeing to have a rehearsal on site. Like, so many things that planners can do for you before you lock in a venue.
I think it makes great sense. I feel I'm gaining knowledge myself, so I feel the listeners are, because multiple things I want to say, and let's see if I can remember it all as I go. One, I love how many people sit in this chair and compare dating men to things with booking vendors. One.
Girls know.
So 100%.
Girls know.
100%. Two, I think there's something about knowing specifics of what you want, not necessarily in a venue or a planner, but like having your budget planned ahead of time, essentially, whether they're fitting you into the budget. Because for us, when I do expos or open houses and they don't have a venue yet, first off, some people might hate to talk to someone when they don't even have a venue, in my position, if you will. I tell people all the time that I think there's such a perk of having a consult with me before they book their venue for multiple reasons. One, I'm thorough as shit. I'm going to give you my, many people compliment that I break things down for them. So when they're considering 5 venues, and if they saw us at an open house, we're preferred there.
100%.
And if they're considering something else in the area, again, we might be on a couple of them.
Yeah.
But like, I'm also blunt and honest with people. Like, yes, this place is awesome, but that food's better.
Yeah.
Yes, this place food's great, but their staff is not that fun.
Yes.
Like, I have opinions on a lot of stuff that I try to be as open and honest with people as I can. And just going back to exactly what you said, like, your goal is to help them as much as you humanly possibly can.
Totally.
And I'm going to push you on this clip of let's make this go viral, because if you just saved them $5 a person per head, they might have got the cold sparks and the sacks.
There you go.
Me.
There you go.
So
every dollar saved on a venue is a dollar spent somewhere else. Like, I'm a firm believer that like we can get that number to, it's my favorite. I love a negotiation. Like, I'm good at that.
Keeping that.
But there's just so much with venues, right? Like, there's so many things. It's your biggest expense by far, venue and catering. It's also going to be the it's the structure for your day. It's the base of your entire wedding. It's important that you love it, but it's also important you don't go overboard, because the rest of planning is just going to be a pain in the ass for you. So I am very clear about that at the forefront with my clients.
I think it's all massive information. I love when I learn shit myself. So
I like learning from you. You've got all the knowledge too.
3 things, or 1 or 2, however many you can get, but 3 things you wish brides knew more when planning a wedding. I was going to not put it on the spot.
You know what my first one's going to be, probably, because everyone says it. A venue coordinator is not a day coordinator. Just because your venue contract says day of coordinator, it is not the same as hiring your outside coordinator. I tell every couple, your venue coordinator, essential. It is essential you have a maitre d', venue coordinator, a POC at your venue, always. But do you know what a day of coordinator will do for you? They'll fix your transportation when it doesn't show up. Happened to me before. They'll vouch for your table floor plan, like your floor plans, your layouts, when the venue's like, well, it's not going to be as easy for us to lay it out that way. It's going to be easier if we do it this way. I'm like, but can you do it this way? And the answer is yes. So we do it that way because the bride wants that. Like, we are the advocate. It is different. The venue works for the venue. The day of coordinator works for the couple.
Okay. So we have a new episode that drops every week. So these 2 episodes that I'm talking about are not going to be back to back, if you will, but we've recorded multiple episodes today. And can I just tell you that it's so fresh in my mind that I had a director of sales for a venue on earlier today, and I literally said, every planner will tell you that a person at the venue is for the venue and not, and we went back and forth with it a little bit, but like, I agree with you 100% in almost every aspect, that their number one, they won't say that their number one priority is the venue, it's the bride, but realistically it's their job
what
versus
totally, totally.
you.
And I
So
know that you've probably talked about this, so I won't even harp on it. But like that is the example I give clients all the time is that example. It's I have fixed transportation issues. I have fixed dress issues. I have fixed so many things that are not specific to venue, right? They're specific to the couple or to their guests. I've done all of those things. I've fixed hotel blocks on site because they dropped rooms by accident. Like so many things that don't have to do with the venue, the reception, the cocktail hour, the ceremony on site if you're having it. We do in the Northeast, we do a lot of church ceremonies, as you know. Love it. Catholic girl, born and raised. But like having
20 years Catholic school.
but you get it. Like there's differences there. And that's they're both necessary.
One of the things we were talking about on the pod was do it yourself brides and why at the very min a day of was so important because of all the stuff that you're bringing in,
Yeah.
or not only taking out at the end of the
Yeah.
night, and
Yeah.
details with that kind of stuff is where the
Yeah. I do a lot of DIY stuff, but to a degree, because sometimes it takes so much away from the actual coordination of the day that I also will just recommend that we outsource like a setup or tear down crew, which doesn't tend to be too much, but it takes such a toll. If I only have a couple assistants on site, someone has to run point on the couple. We have someone managing the venue and the load in and the vendors, and then I'm kind of overseeing everything. Adding another 2 hands on is totally doable, but once it gets to a point that it's, like, quite a lot of stuff, I usually say, like, let's outsource to, like, a company, but totally, like, having someone there to, like, just I always say, like, your coordinator is the one vendor you're gonna hire that's entire job is to make the day stress-free. Like, you guys are obviously everybody wants it to be stress-free.
Sure.
You're there to, create a party. Catering obviously wants everything to, like, look and taste delicious. The florals are there to make an insane, beautiful, like, installment, but um, we as planners and coordinators, like, our entire job is for the day to run smoothly and for everything to go off without a hitch.
if you can put it in one sentence what your job description is, that's it, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you have a question,
I have a question for you.
like on topic,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
mic?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've asked this to other vendor friends. It's just
Okay.
like a fun question.
Sure.
If you didn't do this job, if you were not a DJ, you weren't an MC, you didn't own an event group, like you can't pick any of those roles, but you still worked in the wedding industry,
Mm.
what would you do?
I had the answer until you said still worked in the wedding industry.
Okay, well, you can give me both, but I want to know your wedding industry answer.
So, like, can I say that I wish I knew how to play an instrument?
Totally. Yeah.
Oh, then 100% musician.
Musician.
100%.
What
Like,
would
not
you
even
play?
close. Pre 2020, guitar. I
Okay.
always wanted to play.
Yeah.
I mentioned on multiple pods. It's one of my biggest regrets in life. I'm making my son pick up something this year. And I can't believe I didn't say this on the last pod that I just did, because I always bring up, like, when I was little, I don't think I knew any of my friends that was like, I want to learn how to play sax. Now it's like the hottest thing in the world. Like, so like same thing. I talked about a guy coming on violin, same thing. Like now I feel like it's such a, like, they're mini rock stars
Oh,
out
yeah.
there with the
Oh, yeah.
crowd. So
100%.
like sax all day
Yeah.
answer.
God, I love a sax.
To answer your question in general,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to ask me. Growing up, I never would have answered this originally, and I've never said this on the pod. Sophomore year of high school, I thought I was going to college to be a history teacher. Go figure. So random.
You were so not a history teacher.
But that's not what my answer was going to be. And it's funny because maybe our paths would have crossed still if I was out of this business. I'm 100% working for ESPN. I'm in sports. I'm something
Okay.
commentator, something in that. Like, I'd
Yeah,
probably live in
100%. I could see you doing that.
Yeah, like my fiance always is like, this is, you would be this.
Yeah.
Or like, I'll say something about like a player or a stat or something, and then the announcer says it, and she's like, that's just weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but that would be it.
Cool. All right. I like your answer.
I like the question.
That's my favorite question to ask people.
Any final thoughts? Anything to throw on here for our listeners that don't know that they should know? And that's my favorite thing about the pod.
I think I covered my stuff.
I think you unloaded a lot.
I think I totally did. I hope you can fit all of this in your
Yeah,
episode.
good.
But yeah, I mean, I would just say, like, be really intentional about your wedding. It is, I tell people in consults all the time, like, it is a production these days, but really at the end, a wedding, take everything else away. A wedding is still a wedding if you just go to the courthouse and get married. Like, that's a wedding. And so everything else is extra. Everything else is the fluff, and
Fluff.
I don't know, I just bring it back to, like I said, I bring it back to, like, how I think of my grandparents and how, I mean, they didn't do a crazy huge wedding in, like, the 40s or the 50s when they got married, but they, obviously were, like, in love, and it worked. They're 60 years married.
Can't even imagine like being 60 years old, let alone being married for 60 years.
You'll be with Amanda for
That's crazy.
years. You will.
That makes me 95, so do the math. But I hope I'm here now,
Yeah.
Val. You got anything else on topic
I
while
have a
we're?
surprise for you, actually.
I like them.
I think you're gonna be happy to hear this.
Okay.
I have a client getting married in 2027, New Year's Eve. They're not gonna do dinner. They're gonna do your favorite thing. They're gonna do a heavy, heavy cocktail, and we're gonna do a fun late night, maybe like a food truck. It's Pittsburgh. They're big for pierogies. We're gonna do like a pierogi truck.
Do they have vendors yet?
Maybe we'll bring you out to Pittsburgh.
I mean,
You
I'm
guys
for it.
travel?
Yes, I'm for this.
But I think it's like, especially New Year's Eve, like we're maximizing the party as we
Yeah.
should. It's New Year's Eve.
I can't stress it. I never get to go as a guest.
We'll get you there as a vendor, my friend.
Well, I'm all about this, but I think there's something massive about people think it's high end or it's like you want to offer that filet, but that filet makes people tired, full, not
Totally.
want to dance and drink, and I'd rather them crush some apps immediately and just go
Yeah.
hard. And
You can still have a luxury wedding and not have a sit down dinner.
yes,
It's not you're not a black tie. That's fine. You can have a formal luxury. Their budget is not small. This is a very lovely, lovely, lovely wedding.
well, let's bring me again. At least said that, but it's just I don't even think. I think it can be a black tie event and not have a filet.
Oh, now
Yeah.
you're gonna upset the planners in the world.
Maybe. I just don't think it's impossible. Listen,
It's totally not.
I also
And
think
this is a Gen Z thing, right? Like people just don't like. Once again, we're back to obligation.
Yes.
We are back to obligation. These are clients I went to college with. She knew me from college,
shot a pit.
and
You went to?
Duquesne.
Oh, that's why
Go Dukes.
I realized that as I said it, I thought I was wrong. Yeah. Okay.
But she knew me from college. Like we were the same age. It's literally just it's my generation. Like it's not a huge deal anymore. There's no formalities. There's no like, we have to get married this way. Our parents are telling us, like, sure, that's gonna happen. But at the end of the day, I think people are a lot more comfortable saying no. And also just like having more fun.
So it's this year or next year?
Next year, 27.
27.
27.
So is this something that you've discussed yet? Are they going to put on an invite?
Yeah.
Something that it's like,
Yes.
it's heavy hors d'oeuvres. It's
We're
not
gonna
chicken.
share language.
Because-
Yep.
okay.
Very, very.
Because I think that's
definitely.
important too.
Totally.
Especially
I
for New
completely
Year's
agree.
Eve and it's
Yes.
a later setting.
Yeah.
And let's one more thing too. I think Gen Z weddings are later.
In the evening.
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There's more 7 to 12s.
Yes. Which I love.
Dinner's at 9:30, 10 o'clock, 9:30. Why are we eating fillets at 9:30, 10 o'clock?
I don't disagree with you.
So
It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna do like mix. I mean, I think you talked about this, but like we're gonna mix in high tops and low tops. Like it's gonna look stunning.
I think the perfect vibe that I described was minimum amount of tables, predominantly for your older guests, high tops, and maybe some lounge furniture.
Yes, I love a vignette. That's what I called them. Little seating areas. A little vignette.
Is that a new word? Because I don't know.
It's a real word.
That's a real word.
It's a real word.
This isn't like something you're trying to create,
It's
like
a real word.
hashtag
Little seating vignettes.
vignettes. Okay. Again, you taught me something new again today. Vignettes. Bubble,
Wedding bubble.
wedding bubble, and vignettes. That's what I'm taking away from this
Great.
today. Well, Amanda Dean of Locke Events, I appreciate you coming on, my Gen Z insider. And again, love working with you. Couldn't wait for you to come on and give your spin on the wedding biz.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate you
Happy to be
coming in.
here. Thank
See you
you.
next time. We're out of here, people.